Hello team, welcome to this free YouTube series on the Agentic AI engineering. In this series, you will learn about the multiple topics on the Agentic AI. And those topics are the part of a complete Agentic AI course which is available on the Udemy. So if you really like this video, you really like the way how we are explaining the Agentic AI, then definitely you can go with the complete Agentic AI engineering course. And there you will learn about the complete agentic AI development from the scratch. You will learn how to build a real world autonomous AI agent, and it will be a complete step by step roadmap. The discounted link is already available in the video description. You can click it and you can enroll if you really like the way how we are explaining and you really like this content. Now let's move with this topic. Previously, we learned about the sales outreach agent. We created an end-to-end production grade pipeline in the sales outreach agent, and we saw that how we can send the email on a behalf of your company to the customers. The sales email, we were sending the sales email. In this section, what we will do, we will create a multi-modal integration where we will use the multiple LLM models using the Gemini, DeepSeek, Groq, and then we will use the OpenAI to work as a handler on these models. So objective is very simple. We will learn how to integrate the multiple OpenAI compatible LLMs. For this section, we choose the Gemini, DeepSeek and the Grok, but you can choose any OpenAI compatible LLM. And we already discussed about the OpenAI compatible LLMs in the starting of this course. This is the objective of this particular section. We will create a specialized agent, orchestrate them using the manager agent. And we have already learned about the orchestration of the agents and the management of the agent. And then we will format the final output into the professional HTML email. So this is the same concept we are taking from the previous section, but here we will show a fully sync multi-model production grade pipeline. This will include a couple of things. Very first, use the LLM routing for creative diversity. So this is the learning, this is the outcome of this particular section. You will learn that how you can use the LLM routing for the creative diversity, where you can use the multiple LLM models. We will integrate the multiple vendor models using the OpenAI compatible API, which is the OpenAI SDK. Multi-vendors. Yes, definitely we are going multi-vendor. We are going to use the Gemini, DeepSeek, Grok, OpenAI, right? Perform the agentic evaluation to select the best output. This is the new thing. We will perform the agentic evaluation on the multiple options and then we will select the best output. Use the tool-based handoff. We will see that how we can perform the tool-based handoff to complete the final tasks. So these are the things which we are going to learn as a part of this section. Along with this, we will also learn about the guardrails. We will see what are the guardrails you need to perform whenever you are working with the multiple LLMs, how you can control the flow, how you can minimize the errors or remove the false errors. So there is a lot of things which we are going to learn as a part of this section. And this section is specifically going to be about how to use the multi-modal LLM and how to control the multi-modal LLM and get the desired result from the multi-modal LLM system. So let's go to the code base. Earlier we was working on this sales outreach agent and we completed this sales outreach agent from end to end. I will create a new section, new folder and name it 4 hyphen multi-modal orchestration. Right? This is the folder name, or let's rename it multimodal integration. Multimodal, instead of the orchestration, let's write integration. Right? Let's keep it at a root location. So this is my folder, multimodal integration. Over here, I will create a new file, call it multimodal orchestration dot ipynb. It means ipy notebook. Then we will add a markdown and we will define the title of this particular notebook. So what is the title? This is the title. We are going to create a multi-modal integration using the Gemini, DeepSeek and Grok with the OpenAI agent. This is something what we are going to achieve today. So before starting with this, what I have done, I have created the API account on the Gemini, on the DeepSeek and on the Grok. Team, this is completely optional because whenever you are going to create the account on these LLM providers, you need to pay something, right? These are the paid accounts. So it's completely optional. If you want that within this use case itself, you can use the OpenAI agent, which we have used earlier in this particular section, build sales outreach. But because I want to show you that how to integrate the multiple LLMs, so that I'm using the Gemini, DeepSeek, Groq, and the OpenAI. So it's completely optional. If you want, you can continue and create the account on the Gemini, DeepSeek, Groq, and get the API access. For the Gemini, this is free as of now, but for the DeepSeek and the Groq, you have to pay something. And then what you need to do, you need to keep the environment keys within the .environment file. Let me show you. So over here, you see, I have the environment key for the Groq. I have the environment key for the OpenAI. I have the environment key for the Gemini. And this is the environment key for the DeepSeek. Let me rename this environment key name. And I name it DeepSeek API key. Right, so we have the pushover key, we have the pushover token, we have the DeepSeek API key, we have the Gemini API key, SendGrid API key, OpenAI API key, and Groq API key. Now, let's come back to the lecture. Over here, first we will select the kernel. And then what we will do, we will add a code base. We will start writing up the code over here. Very first thing is the import libraries. We will import the libraries. What are the libraries we need to import? There are a couple of things. So if you go back to the previous one, then we have imported a couple of things. We have imported the from .env, we imported the .environment. So let's import it. We'll need it to load the environment variable from the .env file. Then we need to import the agent runner and trace. So let's import it, agent runner and trace. We was also working on the response text delta event. Let's import it. Then we will load the environment variable. Let's load the environment variable itself. So we will load the environment variable. Apart from this, we have imported a couple of more things. We imported the async IO. Let's import the async IO. Whatever is not required, I will remove it from here. But for the time being, let's import a couple of things which could be required as a part of this lecture. Now import the SendGrid OS, import the SendGrid email to content mail, right? And from the tool, we also need to import the function tool. So let's import the function tool from the agents and import all these things too. We're importing the SendGrid OS, SendGrid helper email, email to content and mail. Apart from this, do we need anything else? I think this is sufficient for now, right? If we need anything, then we will add that thing at a runtime. So these are the important libraries which we have to import, and we have imported all these libraries. The use of these libraries we have already seen in the previous lectures, right? .env to load the environment variable. This is the agent library which is used for the OpenAI agent. This is the response text delta event. This is required for the streamed response, right? Run streamed. Async IO, we know the use of the async IO. SendGrid, we are using this as a email utility. OS, it is to use the environment level variables. SendGrid helper email, right? Email to content. These are the classes from the SendGrid helper email class. Correct. All the things, whatever the library we are installing, that is already being recorded as a part of my project TOML because we are using a UV. So everything is in place. We load the environment variable. Let's execute it. There is no error because each library, whatever library I mentioned over here, that is present within my machine, within my virtual environment. Next, load the environment keys. So what we will do, we will load the environment key. How we can load the environment key? There is a one way, either I can load each environment key separately or I can load those environment keys in a single function. So let's try to load the environment keys within a single function. So I will define a library like this, right? OpenAI key, I am using the OpenAI key. Google, I am using the Google API key. DeepSeek, I am using the DeepSeek API key. And for the Groq, I am using the Groq API key. So let's check if those variables are available within my .env file. Correct? So let's check for the OpenAI key. We have the OpenAI API key. So I need to update this variable name, OpenAI API key. Correct? For the Google, the key name is Gemini API key. So I need to update the variable. Over here, it is Gemini API key. For the DeepSeek API key, let's check. DeepSeek API key, yes. For the Groq API key. DeepSeek API key and the Groq API key. Everything is perfectly fine over here. Now let's verify any of the keys missing. So we are putting a for loop, provider and the key, API's keys dot items. We are using an iteration. If key provider.title API key loaded, and then we are printing the API key up to 5 character. Let's keep it up to 5 character. If something is missing, then we are printing it provider key API key is missing. Let's execute this code. And you see it is saying OpenAI API key. OpenAI API key is available. Google API key is available. DeepSeek API key is available. Groq API key is available. If you will keep it 8 or 10, that will also work for you. It will print a couple of more characters. Execute it. You see. Let's suppose we are changing the name of any one of them. Let's suppose instead of the OpenAI API key, we are finding OpenAI key. This is my variable name which I'm trying to find. Execute it. You see it is saying OpenAI key is missing. This is missing because there is no variable named OpenAI underscore key within my .env file. Correct? So we are loading the API's keys. Next. So that is perfectly fine. This is just a basic setup what we are doing. Let's go further. And further, what we will do, we will define the sales agent persona. Define the sales agent personas. This is like something we are defining the system prompt for the sales agent, right? We are going to use a couple of sales agent and we are defining the system persona for those sales agent. Let's add the code base and we are defining something like this. This is the agent styles. We have the direct, witty and concise. To the direct, we are saying you write serious, clear and professional sales email for the SOC 2 compliance solution. I hope you are aware with the SOC 2 compliance, right? This is a compliance for a software company. Then there is another sales style which is a witty. And we are saying you write humorous, attention grabbing emails to SOC 2 compliance tools. And then we are saying concise. You write minimal, punchy cold emails ideal for busy executives. So this is the agent style. We just define the agent style and we are defining the three style: direct, witty, concise. Now next what we need to do, next we need to initialize the multi-model, multi-LLM model. Initialize the multi-model clients. We will initialize the multi-model clients. So let's execute it. It is working perfectly fine. I will add a code base over here to initialize the multi-model client. And very first we will define the base URL for the LLMs, because all the LLM, either that is a Groq, that is a OpenAI, that is a Gemini, that is a DeepSeek, all will use a different URLs, right? So we need to define the base URL for each LLM, whatever the LLM we are going to use. So we are creating a dictionary base model URL, and in this dictionary we are defining the URL for the Gemini, DeepSeek and the Groq. Correct. Later what we need to do, let's initialize those models. And for this, we are creating the agent clients. How we can create the agent client? Everything we have already seen in the previous lecture, right? So we are just going to repeat the things, but in a newer fashion. So we are defining like this, like the model clients. This is again a dictionary. In the dictionary, we are using async OpenAI, right? We are using async OpenAI. Have we imported this library? No. Let's import it. So we will import the async OpenAI from the OpenAI. Let's execute this. Keep your mouse over here and you will get the description about it. This is a class async OpenAI. And over here you are also getting the details of this. Construct a new async OpenAI client instance. It is creating a async OpenAI client instance. This automatically interfere the following argument from the corresponding environment. So this async OpenAI, what it is creating? It is creating a new async async OpenAI client instance. And how we are creating it? We are defining the base URL. In the base URL, we are defining the model. And from the model, we are defining that this is the URL for the Gemini. And along with that, we are also defining the key of the Gemini, which we are reading from here. API's keys, right? So against the Gemini, we are reading the API key Google. Similarly, we are defining a model DeepSeek, right? Which will read the DeepSeek, API deepseek.com v1. And we are defining the API key from the API's keys. API's keys is DeepSeek. You see, this is the DeepSeek over here. Similarly, we are defining a third model, Groq. The base URL is this, which we have defined over here, and the key I'm reading from the API's keys from here, the Groq. So this is the declaration we created, and over here we have created the initialization of those clients and stored this in a directory or in a dictionary called model clients. Execute it, right? And we are getting some error. Okay, this is saying, name async OpenAI is not defined. Let me execute it again and then execute it again. It is executable. Why? Because earlier I have not imported this library, the async OpenAI. That's the reason I was getting the execution error. Now next what? We initialize the multimodal clients and storing everything within a dictionary. You see over here we are following a better programming practice. Earlier in the previous one, in the build sales outreach, you saw the raw code. Why the raw code? Because I need to explain each thing. But right now we are familiar with the use case. We are familiar with these things. So we can perform the better coding practice. And that's exact thing what we are doing over here. Up to this, after the initialization, what we need to do? Next, we need to build the model specific agents. We need to build the model specific agent. So how we can build the model specific agent? Let's add the code base over here. And over here, very first, let's create the agents of LLM or LLMs. How we can create it? I will define a dictionary like this. And over here, you see I'm using something else which is called OpenAI Chat Completions Models. This class is not available, so I need to import it. And I will import it from the agents library. OpenAI Chat Completion Model. Execute this and you see the error is gone. What is the purpose? This is a class, right? And over here, what we are doing? You see, we are passing the model name Gemini 2.0 Flash. Gemini 2.0 Flash, and then we are passing the clients. And then we are passing the instance of my Gemini. How we are passing the instance of my Gemini? From the model client Gemini. This is the key. And what is the value? Value is this. The instance of the Gemini LLM. And how it is creating the instance of the Gemini LLM? Because it is reading the Gemini URL, base URL, and the API key. So this thing have the instance of the Gemini. And this is the model which Gemini will use. Similarly, for the DeepSeek, this is the model which DeepSeek will use. And this is the instance of the DeepSeek. This is the model which Groq will use. This is the instance which Groq is using. So we are creating the agent models. And whenever you are working with the different LLMs, right, this is the class which you need to use. OpenAI Chat Competitions Model. This only accepts the two things: model, chat model, and OpenAI client. Async OpenAI. And same thing we created, async OpenAI. Right? We created the client of the async OpenAI. It is accepting the two things: the model, we are defining the model name, and instance of the async OpenAI, which we created over here. Right? Which is accepting the lot of things. And we provided the required things over here, the model name and the API keys. Correct? I hope you are understanding it well. Correct. Next what? Let's create the sales agent. And we will create the sales agent multi LLM model based sales agent. We are creating a sales agent which is a multi LLM model base. Again, we will create a dictionary, and within the dictionary, we will define the multiple sales agent. Correct. So let's do it. And over here, you see we are creating a sales agent. We are creating a sales agent. What is this? What is this sales agent? This is the list of the multiple agents. You see, you are defining agent 1, agent 2, agent 3. The same thing which you have defined over here, like this. Here you defined the multiple tools. And over here, you are defining the multiple agents. This is the agent class, which is accepting the agent name. So first agent name is Gemini agent. Instructions. What is the instructions I am providing to this Gemini agent? I am providing the instructions that from the agent style, read the witty key. From the agent style, witty means this. You write humorous, attention-grabbing email for SOC 2 compliance tools. So this is the instructions for the Gemini agent. Which model we are using? We are using agents model. From the agents model, we are using a Gemini, this one. This is the second agent instance we are creating. And second is the DeepSeek agent. What instructions I'm defining to the DeepSeek? From the agent style, use the direct key. Direct means this. Write a serious, clear, professional sales email to the SOC 2 compliance solutions. And then we are defining the model. What model we are defining? From the agent model, we are defining the DeepSeek. It means this. Then we have the third, which is a Llama 3 agent, or you can call it Groq. This is a Llama 3 or the Groq. This is a Groq agent, and in the Groq agent, what we are doing? We are calling the agent style concise. Concise means this. You write minimal punchy cold emails ideal for the busy executives. What model we are using? We are using a model called Llama 3, which is using a model client Groq, right? And this is the model name which we are using. So we created the agents, right? So you see, we are moving step by step. Up to this particular point, we have created the sales agents. Now, next, what we need to do? Next, we need to convert those agents into the tools. So first, let's execute it. There is any error? Yes, here is the error. What is the error? OpenAI completion models. Okay, I will execute the import statement again and then execute it again. I will execute this again. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's execute the complete playbook. It will execute this first, you see, then execute this, executed, then execute this, the initialization executed, build model specific agent. This is also being executed. Let me execute it again, and the error is gone. Error was related to this particular import statement. Now, next, what we need to do, we need to convert those agents into the tools. So we need to convert the agent to the tools. Let's write down the code over here. To convert the agent to the tool, very first, we are defining the description. Right, we are defining a description of my tool. Generate a cold outreach email for a SaaS, software as a service compliance product. Right, agent tools. This is the variable we are defining, and over here we are putting a loop. Agent as a tool, right? You see, we have already seen the use of agent as a tool multiple times, even in the previous lecture. You see, whenever we was converting the agent to a tool, we was using the agent and then the tool. Over here, we are using agent. Where is the object of this? Agent. And over here, we are again using the agent as a tool. What is this agent? The library. Then we are defining the tool name. In the tool name, we are taking the agent name lower. Replace the space with the underscore tool. And in the tool description, we are putting the email task description, and those agent we are reading from the sales agent. It means we are creating an agent tool, and for each tool, I am providing the same description. Correct? I am providing the same description. Let's execute it. Execute it. Let's print it. Agent tools. I will print the agent tools. Print it. And you see, you are getting the 3 function tool. First is the Gemini agent tool. Description is this: generate a cold dispatch for a SaaS compliance product. DeepSeek agent tool, same description. Groq agent tool, same description. Description is same, but the parameter will be different. You see, for the Gemini, but these tools, whatever the tools it is using, they all are the different tools. Each have their own different instructions: witty, direct, concise. But what we did, we just created the tools. That's it. We just created the tools for all 3: DeepSeek, Gemini, and the Groq, and we stored those tools within this particular variable, within this particular list. So up to this particular point, do you have any question, any doubt? I believe you are pretty much okay with this, right? Now I am pausing this particular lecture over here, and we will continue from the same code base in the upcoming lecture. So thank you, team. See you next time. I hope this lecture or this video helped you to understand this topic. If you really don't want to miss the next lessons, then please subscribe. And if you really want to learn the complete Agentic AI, the 22 to 25 long Agentic AI course, where you will learn about the multiple frameworks in the Agentic AI, you will learn how you can build the real world AI agent or real world autonomous agent. The complete Udemy course link is right below in the description of this video. You can go to the link, you can enroll the course and enjoy the seamless learning on the Agentic AI engineering. Build your own agent and be a productive engineer. Thank you. See you next time.